How's it going, everybody? I'm back today with another recent knife purchase that comes so close to defeating the Benchmade Bugout. Unfortunately, this is a knife of what ifs, and I'll show you why. Without further ado, this is the Nomad 3.0 from Asher Knives. Asher Knives are a small brand out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's a one-man design firm. Using overseas production, he brings his designs to life and has consistently been putting out some nice knives for the money with quality materials. You might have seen their extremely popular Little Buddy fixed blade that has been making the rounds online, and it sells out in record time. However, we are here to talk about this little folder today, and that again is the Nomad 3.0. At first glance, it's pretty evident that this shares some pretty strong design cues from the Benchmade Bugout. We have a really thin and lightweight knife running on a crossbar lock. The design is rather vanilla, but like the Bugout, if it works, don't fix it. We have a drop point blade of M390 steel with a fuller. We have thumb studs, G10 handle scales, and a metal deep carry pocket clip. In a world of thousands of knife choices, everything on this just seems safe and nothing we haven't seen before. However, that's not always a bad thing, and this knife just does its job well without any extra fuss. The crossbar lock performs pretty well on this, and though the action fails in comparison to like a Kershaw Bel Air or Kaiser Drop Bear, it's still rather smooth to deploy, and the lockup is solid. The thumb studs act great, and deployment is very snappy and easy. The ceramic bearings help the knife pop open and slide shut with ease. The tolerances are tight, and I have zero complaints in this department. This model is currently discontinued in this specific form. However, you can snag a Nomad for $130 with an upgraded S90V blade steel. With the Benchmade Bugout clocking it at the $180 mark, the Nomad has a chance to save you a nice chunk of change. So the real question is, can this Asher Nomad 3.0 dethrone the famous Benchmade Bugout? After going over the features, it seems to beat the eye test and looks like a great knife for the price. Before having one in hand, I would have absolutely agreed. Yet having it in hand and using it for a few days, this knife just falls short of taking over that crown, and it comes oh so very close. The first major flaw this knife possesses is this absolutely horrible pocket clip. I have quite a few knives in my collection, and it wouldn't be a stretch to say this might be the worst pocket clip out of them all. It is reversible, so I will give them that, but that's where the praise stops. The placement of the clip is situated down the handle instead of being placed near the top. That means even though the pocket clip features a deep carry design, due to the placement, you will still have some of the knife rising above the pocket, ultimately defeating the entire purpose of a deep carry clip. I just find this placement very odd, and I do not love it. However, that isn't even my biggest complaint with this clip. The tension on this thing is tight, like way too tight. You can bend it out a bit if you're careful, but after some tinkering, I still can't get it to ease up. It's almost impossible to slide in and out of your pocket, and actually requires two hands to get it in and out of the pocket, as one hand holds the knife while the other pulls out the clip. And it absolutely defeats the purpose of having a mechanism that can deploy the blade one-handed when you can't even put it in your pocket one-handed. The clip is also much wider than it should be, and I just think it's an ugly design. I tried replacing it with the Kaiser deep carry clip, but unfortunately, the clip sits down in this cutout section, so aftermarket clips do not sit flush and instead protrude outwards. Unfortunately, this clip is so bad, it stops me from carrying this completely. I have a pair of jeans here, and we can see how difficult it is just to get it in and out of the pocket. I mean, it's so difficult, and then to pull it out, it's not going anywhere. You literally have to use two hands to pull it out. And you can see with it in there how much it rides above the pocket, even though it's a deep carry pocket clip. So just kind of frustrating. I do not like this pocket clip at all. It would be very easy to destroy your pocket if you're careless and use it as a typical knife, just sliding it in and out. I mean, it's just, the tension is crazy tight. Pocket clip aside, unfortunately, there's another big design flaw that stops this knife from being truly great. Though I enjoy the G10 handles and it feels really well in hand, it seems to be a double-edged sword. When we take a closer look at the scales, you can see that these interior edges are still sharp. You don't ever feel this with your palm, and if you don't run your hand across it, you would never even know. However, when using that crossbar lock, when you either deploy the blade or disengage the lock, there's a chance your thumb might get caught in this little channel here, and it gets pinched up against that sharp G10. It doesn't happen every time, but it's enough that it's gotten pretty annoying. With it being a crossbar lock, it's rather fidgety, but I find myself restraining as the pain and annoyance of this occurrence is all too frequent. Off-fill pocket clip aside and the sharp G10 aside, everything else about this knife is done very well. It's just that these few complaints make it live in my knife drawer instead of my pocket. Though it came out swinging against the Bugout, I think it just falls short in a few categories. I really like this knife, and I would love to carry it, but when we compare it to the competition in my collection, it's just extremely hard for it to win a spot in my pocket, especially since it's so hard to even put in my pocket in the first place. Once again, this has been the Asher Nomad 3.0. Thanks for watching, and I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe below. I'll catch you on the next one.